The education establishment is already pushing for more education funding, but the Nevada School Choice Coalition thinks education needs something more than additional money. Welcome to Nevada Politics Today. I'm your host, Victor Jakes. Valeria Gurr is the director of the Nevada School Choice Coalition, which promotes school choice programs like education savings accounts and opportunity scholarships. Valeria, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to start with that idea. The education establishment here in Nevada is saying that we need more money. They're planning on going back to the legislature to ask for more funding. Isn't that what we need? Don't we need more investment instead of school choice? Won't that fix education?
Well, I think that that's the definition of insanity, if you ask me. We continue doing the same, expecting better results. And while I support giving more funds and definitely funding public education, I think that the two concepts can coexist. I think we do need a strong public schools, and we do need choice. I think they're two different things.
Well, I want to talk about some objections that people have to school choice. I think the biggest one is, they will say, isn't school choice just code for giving money to rich white people so they can go to private school?
I think that's an excellent, questions that you're asking me. In the Opportunity Scholarship, it is a program, so for people to know that it's only for low-income families. So a family cannot pass what is the 300% of the federal poverty line. So no, that's not actually the case. The education savings account was a program that is actually not funded at the moment. And we have seen, my organization specifically focuses on providing options for low-income families and families that need it most. And the report that we have from the Department of Education shows that about most of the funds that are given are below 185% of the poverty line. So very low income families, about 2,000 families or 2,000 a little bit more, are actually being given choice thanks to this program.
How do they afford private school? We always hear that private schools are $20,000. The opportunity scholarships, I think, is about $8,000. How are they affording this if they're poor families and the opportunity scholarships?
Isn't it wonderful? So I'm so happy that you're asking that, because the median is about 6,000, and as you mentioned, it can go all the way to 20,000 if you're looking at an elite private school. And my first question when I took this position was to call Faith Lutheran, which is a great school, and many families love that school here in town. And their tuition is about 15,000 or maybe around that number. So I called them and I asked, and they say, well, we supplement the Opportunity Scholarship with our own scholarship. So in many cases, I can guarantee you that that's the case. Most of the private schools are aware of the challenges that they have with this scholarship, that the funds in some cases are not enough. And when it's not enough, in most of the cases, they supplement and give their own scholarship.
All right, so I want to go to a clip of a mom of 6 talking about why she wants school choice.
Yo tengo 6 niños desde high school hasta pre-K, y de 6, 5 andan bien mal, y ellos siempre me dicen a mí que porque la clase está muy grande. Entonces para mí es muy importante, porque yo podría mandarlos a una escuela privada o pagarles tutoring para que ellos tengan mejor enseñanza y mejor futuro.
Yeah, and obviously, everyone wants that mom to have the best future for her children. But even if she's able to access a private school, or the girl you mentioned who's going to Faith Lutheran, how sustainable is this as a big picture solution? Isn't there just only a limited number of spots in private schools? Isn't this school choice more of a niche solution than a big fix?
That's a difficult question. I don't see choice as a small solution. I don't think that a school choice is going to come to fix the whole problem. I think that we have several different issues, in the whole spectrum of fixing the education system. I think choice is more about allowing and revolutionary, like changing a system that is all an antique. So you look at the system, we have a classroom of, you mentioned, 40 kids, right, with a teacher teaching a curriculum, right? And I think that's an antique education system. We're moving forward to a system that provides families with options to receive the best education as possible. And that sometimes is not the public school setting.
And I want to talk about the popularity of school choice. Let's go to graphic one, and this is a poll that the American Federation for Children conducted in April. And it shows that for special needs ESAs, 70% of Nevadans support that. And for opportunity scholarships, which is more broadly available, 59% of Nevadans support that. How does this issue play politically? Is this
huge? It's going to play. So as you've seen, families in Nevada want choice, and we are seeing that the numbers are increasing. So, with that being said, especially among Hispanics and millennials, those numbers out of that you've seen out of the poll, Hispanics and millennials, are the ones that are really for choice. And why? It's because we have 42% of the population of students, I was looking if I'm correct, are Hispanics, right? So the Hispanic vote is going to matter when it comes to choice. Families want choice. They don't understand why politicians wouldn't want to give them choice. All they understand is like, I have my kid today, my kid is going to a low performing school, falling behind, sitting in a large class setting, and I'm not able to provide the best for them. So if as a mom, that's all that matters for a parent today.
So, Hispanics usually vote for Democrats. Democrats usually oppose school choice. Does any of that change in this next election cycle because of school choice?
I do think so. I think that among Democrats, they all voted for increasing funding for the Opportunity Scholarship. So we are seeing that Democrats actually do support the Opportunity Scholarship. So it is my hope that they're going to continue supporting the Opportunity Scholarship, specifically because it's for low-income families, and we're seeing that over 2,000 families now are able to have a different option, a better option than the one they had.
And those families, are they white families? Are they minority families?
No, a large percentage we're seeing are African American. Actually, a higher percentage that are served at the local school districts. Are served by the Opportunity Scholarship, and a large percentage of those are actually Hispanics too. Over 600 scholarships are given to Hispanics.
And so, in the governor's race, Adam Laxalt, Steve Sisolak have very different positions on school choice. Does this affect votes in the governor's race? Will there be people in the Hispanic community who vote for Adam Laxalt because of the school choice issue?
I definitely think so. As you saw during the 2015 legislative session, we were trying to fund ESAs, and there were over 10,000 applications for that program. So families won and are pushing for choice. And I think when they're looking at candidates that support choice, is a huge topic in our community. I hear from candidates now that are knocking at doors that families are talking about education and see choice as a part of the solution.
Are there Democrat legislators or elected officials or candidates who are willing to support a school choice program in the next legislative session?
I think so.
Do you have any names you want to share, or who've talked to you? Or?
I don't want to put people in the spot, but Danielle Moran Monroe is an assemblywoman that it is for the Opportunity Scholarship. She believes in the program. She has invited me to her events. I think that there are other people candidates specifically, new candidates that are coming, that have say, I understand why families want choice, and I do believe that is something that I will support now. That's before election. We'll see after election time.
I want to end with kind of one objection that you sometimes hear about school choice programs, and that's about the parents. Can government trust parents to make a choice to pick a school for their child?
Of course, I think that when a wealthy child leaves a public school, nobody has an objection, and everybody thinks, great, they can afford it. But when a low-income parent decides to pursue choice, everybody's go, whoa, no, what are you doing? You are not educated enough to make that decision, and I found it insulting. I think a parent knows best, and it is our job to empower parents to choose what is best for their children. They will know their kids best than anybody else, and it doesn't matter where you come from. You should have access to the education that you want to give their kids, or either ways how you leave poverty.
And we're going to have to leave it there. Valeria, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Remember, if it involves Nevada politics, we're talking about it right here on Nevada Politics Today. I'll see you next week.